You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere.
Good morning. Winter has arrived. Snow is falling at our studios in downtown Wausau. Our 98.9 WXCO studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street in downtown Wausau. Snow and snow-covered roads. So if you're hitting the road, heading off to work, heading off to school, be aware. Many of the roads, as I was driving in just not too long ago, snow-covered and slippery. Temperature stands at 29 degrees. The time is 8:07, and it is the Monday edition of the Chad Holmes Show here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. First of all, thanks to Pat Kreitlow on Thursday and Bob Look on Friday for sitting in for me. Last 2 weeks have not been fun. It's continued to a certain extent. Feeling better over the weekend. Mornings still are a little bit tough, which is tough for doing a morning radio show. But finally, Thursday and Friday said enough was enough. Needed to step away. Did not do this show, did not do any play-by-play sports on Thursday and Friday. Returned Saturday to do Wausau West hockey. Went pretty well. Did not do anything yesterday, and hoping that we get past this. But this is something that is going around a lot here in the area. In fact, yesterday I was, sending some text out to line up guests this week, and included was for Wednesday's big high school sports show. And one of the people I sent a text to was a coach, and I got a response that, yeah, I would love to come on the show, but I've completely lost my voice, and I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to do it. Could you hold off a little bit? I said, sounds exactly what I've been dealing with. It has just been 2 weeks of a lot of that. And again, I've seen a lot of folks out there having to deal with it. And hopefully we'll be able to get past it soon. But at the same time, later on today, going to talk a little bit about the connection right now with the ignorance, if that's the right word.
Ignorance?
No, ignoring.
Oh, ignorance.
It's still, yeah. How the new administration is ignoring a lot of healthcare issues, whether it's leaving the World Health Organization, whether it's ignoring statistics, ignoring reports. There's a lot out there. And we saw what can happen 5 years ago. Donald Trump should remember what happened 5 years ago. So I want to talk about that coming up. Also want to talk about it was late in the week, and I know Pat talked a bit about this on Thursday. Want to talk about the folks that came to the Wausau City Council meeting last week when the issue of, again, the ethics complaint against Mayor Doug Diny was discussed, about getting outside counsel to try to get to the bottom of this. And these folks caused a bit of a disruptance. And it's a pattern on the right that when they want to disrupt, they try to use intimidation. You go back to the Tea Party. You go back to January 6th, and we saw a little bit of that last week. Going to talk about that coming up as well. But I want to talk about the weather to begin with. We'll get full details coming up from meteorologist Brittney Merlot in just a few minutes. Mm-hmm. How was your drive-in? Ian Welsh, our in-studio engineer, our in-studio producer. Number one, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
How was the drive-in?
The drive-in was a little rough. A lot of the roads around my neighborhood hadn't been snowplowed quite yet. The snowplows were still working, just, I had to take it easy, had to make sure I tested my brakes, make sure I didn't go too fast. But just, I think today was a good a test of, a good first test of my winter driving abilities. I think I passed with a B+.
A lot of the roads not plowed.
Nope.
I came in my normal route, which is a bit of a back route, and I was sliding around. It was not fun, and I have to say, and if you're out there driving right now and tuned in, give a buffer. I mean, there was this guy right behind me and I'm trying to go pretty slow because I was sliding around.
Yeah, me too.
And this guy right behind me, and it's like, come on. I mean, what, are you going to get there 2 seconds earlier? So, again, if you're out there, give a buffer. And like you said, we have not had a lot of winter driving
not recently,
experience so far this year.
Thankfully, I like to say, as I was coming in, the cars in front of me were going nice and slow, and they had that little extra buffer in there to make sure that they were relying for stopping time. I was fine going along with that. It was like a train that was happening, having everybody doing the same thing and trying to keep it safe. And then out of the blue, this big truck is like coming up behind me and just like zooms off to the right and goes around everybody.
I mean,
it's like,
yeah, some folks.
Like what you said. I mean, what are you saving? Like 2 or 3 seconds at the most? I mean, I'd rather get there late than end up in a ditch and not getting there at all.
No, exactly right. And yes, some vehicles have better drive, have better tires.
Yeah.
But you got to think about the people that don't. And when you fly past like that, and especially on the right, I get so annoyed when people pass on the right. You're supposed to pass on the left.
Yeah.
It's not the right thing. And sometimes during snow events, when you have 4-lane roads, one of the lanes is much clearer. So you may be going slower, but you'll be maybe in the left lane because you don't want to be in the right lane where you can tell it's much more snow covered and slick.
That's
so
right.
Again, please take your time. Please
be considerate of others.
Exactly. Let's not get into any accidents. A winter weather advisory remains in effect until 12 noon today. And basically, we expect this snow to continue for a couple more hours, and then it's going to stop. We'll get the details from Brittney in just a few minutes, but just, again, during the morning drive, take your time.
Absolutely.
What else did you do this weekend?
Well, let's see. This weekend was actually pretty busy when it came to family. My aunt Sandy and Uncle Mike had come up from Burlington because Mike was competing in a statewide bowling tournament at Dales Weston Lanes. And so they got to stay with us over the weekend, and it was really nice to get together with the family because we don't see them as often as we used to. And a nice little added bonus was that on a Sunday, my brother Travis had come up from Madison as well. Unfortunately, it could have been under better circumstances because he was giving a ride to his friend Lauren, whose father had passed away. So kind of a somber occasion, but I like that Travis is there to support her and her family as well. And hopefully the funeral is actually today, but hopefully the roads are better as the day gets on, and hopefully it can be a very respectful funeral. But overall, it was just nice to have family over this weekend, have some nice meals, and just catch up on what's been happening.
Terrific. And quiet for me. Again, Saturday, spent much of the
sports games.
Well, no, I did on Saturday. It was a long trip, so basically my whole Saturday was either on the bus or doing the game. Game was in New Richmond. Big win for Wausau West, 6-4. New Richmond, number 6 ranked team in the state. Number 6 ranked team in the state. But New Richmond, about a 2.5-hour bus ride. Went on the bus with the team. Did the game. Came back. So we left at 9:30 in the morning. Game was at 3 o'clock. Got home around 9 o'clock. So it was.
It's a long day.
It was a long day, but it was a fun day. It was great to be back, be able to do the game at a competent level. The voice was much better. And again, it just feels like right now at the point where the mornings, and I just need to warm up the voice, I think. Hopefully by the end of this show, it'll be even better. But
Absolutely.
On the right track. But again, I know a lot of folks, lots of bugs going around.
Yeah. Lots of nasty coughs and colds and
So be out there.
Nasty stuff.
Be careful. Be safe.
Stay hydrated.
We're going to talk about the weather. Coming up next, meteorologist Brittney Merlot. That's straight ahead. Time is 8:18. Chad Home Show 98.9 WXCO.
You're listening to Civic Media. Stay up to date on the latest news and information for your local community and Wisconsin by signing up for our free email newsletter. Visit civicmedia.us/email to get started.
And welcome back. Chad Home Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app. Again, winter-like morning. Very slick roads. Many of the roads still not plowed. So if you're heading out, take that extra time because we have not had a lot of this winter driving condition that we're seeing this morning. And we expect the snow to last for a couple more hours at least, but I'm not the one that really knows what's going to be happening with the snow. The person that does know is our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot. Brittney, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so snow happy that it's snowing outside, but I know those roads are rough because those temperatures are kind of mild. So a little wet, sloppy, slushy snow out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much have we got so far?
We have gotten about anywhere from 2 to about 3 inches across our area, and we're probably going to get another inch or so as this continues to go through the morning. Winds down by 10 to 11. I want to say it's going to start to stop.
Frankly, compared to when I was younger, this is not a lot, but it feels like a lot. Driving in today, it was unusual because sliding around, the road conditions were, winter-like. Just not used to it.
I know. I'm trying to record the news, right? And I've got the snow plows just beeping like crazy. It's just an active morning out there, but it is a beautiful one, and we do need that snowfall. So it is going to wind down by this afternoon. Highs today hovering into those 20s right now, and that's kind of where we're going to sit today in the upper 20s before we crash tonight. It'll be breezy tomorrow and cooler behind this system. Highs will only be into those mid-teens by tomorrow, and we stay stuck under cloud cover. In fact, this week is pretty cloudy, unfortunately, because Wednesday we have another chance of some more inches of snowfall. Anywhere from about 2 to 4 inches is possible again on Wednesday. This will probably be more in the afternoon, evening, and into the overnight. So Thursday morning could be a little slick and slippery too. And then we've got another system headed our way on Saturday where we could see another 2 to 4 inches. Wow. So we're finally getting the decent chunk of snowfall, not where we're getting just a trace, but actual few inches ahead, both. So today, Wednesday, and Saturday.
The snowmobilers and the skiers are probably pinching themselves, thinking, am I dreaming or is this really happening?
I know. I'm so excited.
I feel really
cross-country
happy for them 'cause they've
skiers.
been waiting for this.
Absolutely. I actually went up north over the weekend and saw that system that moved through Saturday night, where we barely got anything here. But up north, it was blizzard-like conditions, and people were out there ice fishing on the frozen lakes, snowmobiling through the trails. It was nice to see the winter life is continuing. And now we're getting a little taste of that here.
And it looks like it's going to stick around because, as you said, it does not look like any temperatures above freezing this week.
Nope, I don't see any more spring-like temperatures in the forecast. Real winter here for February, even into the middle of February. I was looking at a lot of the systems. They may slide south of us, but that means we're in the cooler air mass then. So these temperatures will be supporting the additional snowfall that we get throughout the afternoon, Wednesday and Saturday.
Did the groundhog predict this?
The groundhogs are torn. Depends which groundhog you like. Madison, Jimmy in Madison, he said that, let's see what, he did not see his shadow. So that means that, I got it all confused, that winter's going to be shorter. So spring is going to be here sooner. That's what Jimmy said in Madison. But Phil in Philadelphia, or over in Pennsylvania, he thinks that winter is still going to be here for quite a while because he saw his shadow there. So it's kind of interesting. It's pretty much the opposite weather. Because if this groundhog's going to see a shadow, that means it's sunny, and that means more winter.
Doesn't Central Wisconsin have a groundhog? Or should we get a groundhog?
Yeah. We should get a groundhog.
I think we should get a groundhog. Have it hang around here, right downtown. Bring him out.
Great.
Bring him out, see if he sees a shadow next February 2nd.
Make a celebration out of it.
We should. That'd be cute.
By the way, I don't know whether you know this or not. How much snow do we need to get snowmobile trails open and get some of these outdoor activities going?
Good question.
Up north, I know that they used at least a foot. They wanted 12 inches of snowfall for a base for them to open. I don't know exactly what they're doing here locally because it kind of depends on those local clubs that are grooming it. And I also heard the donations and funding for them are kind of lacking. So if you can help them out, they probably need it, especially after last year.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's like out of sight, out of mind. When you don't, when you're not doing it for a year or two, people forget about it. And why volunteer for something you're not doing, right? Mm-hmm, but hopefully people see the snow and say, all right, we're going to get out there get back and help some. So fantastic. So again, before all is said and done, just to recap, a couple more hours of snow and then it'll clear away.
Yep. So this advisory lasts until noon. I think it's going to start to patter out and get on out of here by about 10 to 11 or so. So about another half an inch to an inch left to accumulate. High temperatures today staying below freezing in the upper 20s, still kind of mild compared to tomorrow, where we will feel that wind chill, temperatures being slashed to the mid-teens and probably feeling more like 0. So a cold, cloudy one tomorrow, dry, and then snowfall does move in by late Wednesday and through the overnight and into our Thursday morning. So keep a heads up for that. Temperatures will make it to those mid-20s to close out the week with more snow in the forecast for the weekend.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Brittney. If you're heading out on the road yourself, take a little extra time, but thanks again for the info.
Bye, Brittney.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
That's our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot. Right now in downtown Wausau, some snow is falling. Temperature of 29 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at 6 miles per hour. Wind chill factor is 23. Dew point 26. Relative humidity of 89%. Barometer at 29.90 inches. And visibility only 1/2 mile. Information update is coming up next. And then going to talk about, again, the ethics complaint concerning Mayor Doug Diny. And an article I read late in the week talking about the optics. I want to talk about doing what's right. And we're going to do that coming up next. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
James,
Melissa,
Chad.
and Seth inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
Find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us. And welcome back. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app. Again, just heard promo. We are looking for sales help. And if you're somebody that would like to be involved in the exciting world of radio, we have opportunities here at 98.9 WXCO and Civic Media. And our big look right now is for sales help. And again, if you're somebody that has an interest, has a talent, you have a wide open palette. A great opportunity. And also to work for a company that really does think about its employees. And I'm not just saying that, but I have truly enjoyed the last 2.5 years since Civic Media purchased WXCO.
Me too.
Yep, and Sage Weil, our owner, has been just a fantastic leader. The entire leadership team that is based out of Madison has been so supportive of everything that we have been able to do here. And if you would like to be part of this team, just number one, send Chuck Gennaro an email, chuck.gennaro, Gennaro, at civicmedia.us. Also, if you would like, you can also send me an email, chad.holmes@civicmedia.us. We'll make sure that the right people get your information. And if you're just interested in learning more, you don't have to apply. you just want to find out a little bit more about the positions and our company, our radio station, send us a note. We'd love to talk to you. So again, join the team. Become part of something that we think is very special here at 98.9 WXCO. Late last week, I was going to talk about this, but I was not here Thursday and Friday. I was actually here. I was just not on the air. I couldn't talk. And Pat Kreitlow, and I actually had sent Pat the links to the stories because I said, well, this is something I was going to talk about, and I think it would be something that you'd be interested in as well. And he was able to mention it. It concerned last week's Wausau City Council meeting, where there was pressure put on the council not to get legal counsel for the ethics board to review the complaint against Doug Diny. It all started back in late September when the mayor put on his hard hat, put on his vest. It wasn't Halloween, but he was dressed up like a City of Wausau Public Works official, brought out the dolly and hauled away the dropbox, took it to his office. Led to a controversy. The mayor's had multiple explanations on why he did it, trying to figure out exactly why. But in the end, it was not his job to remove the Dropbox. According to a Wisconsin Supreme Court ruling in July, municipal clerks, not mayors or city councils, decide whether to use Dropboxes. And straightforward. Well, there have been complaints made, and the ethics board received the complaint and will be investigating. Well, the meeting last week, there were a number of supporters of Doug Diny trying to get the ethics board and the council.
This ought to be interesting.
And they're trying to get the council to back off, not hire a special legal counsel. A couple of things about this. Number one, the board did not let that pressure affect them. Voted 8-2 and did hire attorney Eric Larson of Waukesha-based Municipal Law and Litigation Group SC. So good. That's the right thing to do. But the way that meeting occurred continues a pattern from the right. And I go back, you remember the Tea Party back in after Barack Obama was elected? It was quite a coincidence that the Tea Party decided, there was way too much deficit spending. There was way too much wasteful spending. So after the first black president was elected, they decided that to form and to cause all sorts of trouble to those on the left. And during the summers of 2009, 2010, they would go to these meetings, whether they were local elected officials or congressmen, school boards, and these Tea Partiers would be screaming at these meetings and trying to use intimidation to get their point across. And then you've seen the pictures of January the 6th when the MAGAs and the far right went to the United States Capitol. Remember the pictures of the faces of pure rage?
Yeah.
Using intimidation. And that's what Doug Diny's supporters did last week, trying to intimidate the city council. But that did not happen. The council was able to show some guts and vote 8-2 to hire the outside counsel. But another aspect that I wanted to touch on was the mayor, again, not following the rules during the meeting. The mayor started with an opening comment. Normally, well, what happened was the mayor, during the course of this process, the mayor at the start of the meeting, according to Wausau Pilot and Review.com, characterized the culture within the council chambers as a Game of Thrones scenario.
Oh, gosh.
Leading to some murmurs within the chambers. And then, each time an alder discussed the complaint or the ethics board's potential actions, the mayor, again, outside the rules, responded with counter-arguments, prompting points of order from some alders. Finally, Alder Carol Lukens asked the mayor to read the council's rules of decorum after audience members applauded his opening remarks. So he's playing to the audience. What the mayor was supposed to do at the start of the meeting was not make an opening statement. He was supposed to read the council's rules of decorum. But Diny did not do so at the start of the meeting last Tuesday. When he did eventually read them, he reminded speakers not to name-call alders or city staff. Did he not start the proceedings with that because he wanted some of his supporters there to be yelling at alders or city staff? I don't know. It seems like a rather odd thing to forget when you're the presiding officer of the city council meeting. But by that point, his supporters had already ignored that idea and continued to do so. Also, I found another aspect that was so-called pointed out by Diny and his supporters about waste of taxpayer dollars.
Boy.
But no, this is something that needs to be investigated. There has been ethics complaints put forward against the mayor.
Right.
He broke the rules when he removed that Dropbox. And it just feels as though the mayor, multiple times, whether it's the Dropbox or it was last in Tuesday's council meeting, when he did not properly officiate that meeting, and then council members being forced to bring up points of order that he doesn't seem to think the rules apply to him at times.
Which is absolutely wrong.
It is. And the mayor has a lot of folks right now supporting him and causing trouble. The mayor has conservative media on his side.
Yeah.
That folks on other radio stations in this town are stirring the pot.
We're not going to name names here because we don't do that.
In fact,
try not to.
Lisa Rasmussen called for additional security because she said the misinformation spread by a local conservative news outlet, which he said falsely claimed the council was seeking to investigate the mayor using taxpayer funds. So, again, the idea that the mayor can do whatever he wants and then not be investigated is wrong. In fact, recently, the mayor termed the complaints as, quote, serial and coordinated harassment. It's not harassment.
Mm-mm.
He's the one that put on the hard hat. He's the one that put on the vest. He's the one that pretended to be a public works official and hauled away the Dropbox against a ruling of the Wisconsin State Supreme Court.
Uh-huh. And didn't he talk to the city clerk beforehand, and she told him that
yes,
it wasn't his place, and he talked to her, and she said, okay, well, he talked to her, and she said no, and what does he do? He ignores it. He just does it anyway, even though he was directly told that is not your job, that is my job, because I am the city clerk, and he just blatantly ignored her.
It's about doing what is right. That's the bottom line here. That is the bottom line here. And coming up, I'm not going to get into it yet, but we have a hard break coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But there was an opinion piece put on Wausau Pilot by former council person Tom Kilian late last week. And I disagree with Mr. Kilian. He has an article called The Independent on WausauPilotReview.com. And he's talking about the appearance of this hiring of outside counsel. I have a different point of view on this. It's not about appearance. It's about right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to discuss that coming up here in 2 minutes. With Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. The time is 8:48. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
You're listening to Civic Media. Find the latest news, information, and archives of all your favorite shows on the Civic Media website, civicmedia.us.
Sometimes you're better off dead. There's a gun in your hand that's pointing at your head. You think you're mad, too unstable, kicking in chairs and knocking down tables in a restaurant in a West End town. Call the police, there's a madman around, running down underground to a dive bar in a West End town. In a West End town, a dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls. In a West
And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Talking a bit about this continuing issue involving the mayor of Wausau when it comes to the Dropbox issue. And I haven't done this, and that's my fault. If you have comments on this story or anything else, you can join us at 715-382-9297. Can either text us or call us at that number, 715-382-9297. Talked about the meeting last week where the council, on an 8-2 vote, decided that yes, they would hire outside counsel for the ethics committee involving the complaint against Doug Diny and the Dropbox that started in late September. Council, again, 8-2. One alder was absent. Alder Terry Kilian. Don't know why. Again, maybe it doesn't matter. But the previous council person for that seat was Tom Kilian. Terry Kilian, the mother of Tom Kilian. And Tom Kilian, after that meeting last week, wrote an article for his column, Wausau's Independent, saying that with the headline, with complaint against Wausau Mayor, bad optics with outside legal counsel persist. And then he talks about a couple of previous investigations involving Keen Winters and Brad Carger over the years. And then talks about the firm that was hired for this Diny investigation. When it talks about optics, it raises the hair on the back of my head a little bit. I'm not saying that optics are irrelevant. They are very relevant. But I think what's more important is, what is the right decision? What is the right decision when it came to that vote on whether or not to hire outside counsel? Would we be better off by saying, well, the mayor completely disregarded the Wisconsin Supreme Court and removed that Dropbox illegally? But we're not going to do anything. We got ethics complaints from Wausau citizens wanting a true investigation. But that doesn't matter. We're going to let the mayor just slide by. At least he didn't talk about vibes in the article. But I think the optics would have been worse. And the thing is, during the whole course of this article, Kilian does not mention whether or not he agreed with the vote. That ultimately, maybe he thinks that somebody else should have been hired. I don't know. He talks about, some reasons why this firm's legal opinions in a case in the village of Fox Point, which dealt with Dropbox issues as well, should have disqualified this firm, and that Wausau should have hired a different firm. Doesn't say. I don't know whether or not Kilian is working for the mayor in this realm in terms of trying to get this investigation sidetracked and to take away, perhaps try to throw in a few curveballs here to make people wonder, no matter what comes out of this investigation, whether it's true. I don't know. I found the article disconcerting, to be honest with you. We don't know whether or not Terry Kilian would have voted for or against the hiring of the council because she wasn't there. And now the previous person in that seat writes a op-ed in the Pilot saying basically that the people that were hired have some conflicts of interest or conflicts of Dropbox. I don't know. But the bottom line is, are people supposed to now say, well, the ethics committee could investigate, find some issues with the mayor's conduct, but now because they hired the wrong firm, according to Tom Kilian, that the optics would mean that, hey, we can put this aside? I don't know. Bottom line is, there needs to be some accountability here. I've said this over and over again. The mayor has conservative media on his side, pushing, and riling up the listeners and the viewers and the writers, whatever media that may be, to go to a council meeting and scream at the alder people and scream at Caitlin Bernardi and scream at anybody that was trying to actually get to the truth in this matter. I don't give a darn about the optics right now. I want to see what's done right now.
It's shameful how they would behave like that.
I'd rather see an article talk about the wrongness of those people and also the mayor not reading the rules at the beginning of the meeting last Tuesday.
Seriously, have some accountability, sir.
So that's where I stand on it, at least. I just think that the idea that this pushback that we should not be investigating, give me a break. The Wisconsin State Supreme Court said he wasn't supposed to do this. There's got to be some accountability here. The time is 8:58 here on 98.9 WXCO.
The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.